What's up, everyone? This is David Allen with MBS Fitness, and I'm here with one of our members, Richard Adams. And Richard has a really cool story to tell. Richard, you did your first powerlifting meet last April with us in Blytheville. Talk to us about how you did in that meet.
Well, in that meet, I had a deadlift. I did a squat of 400,
okay,
bench of 225, and deadlift of 435.
Very cool. Okay, what was your experience with the first meet, and what did you think about it?
It was fun. The biggest surprise was it wasn't scary.
Right.
It was fun. It was enjoyable, and everyone was rooting for everybody. Everybody yelled for everybody. Everybody wanted everyone to make their lifts. That was cool.
Yeah, the cool thing about powerlifting is there's a ton of camaraderie amongst it, and of course there's some bickering back and forth as well. But when you go to a meet, everyone roots for everyone, even if you're competing against them. All right, very cool. So you had your first meet, came out with a positive experience, and then you had a little bit of a health issue. I remember you were actually here when everything happened. Kind of tell us what happened.
Well, 2 months after the meet, I had a type of a heart attack called an in-stent.
Right.
And my arteries were too clogged to have a stent. And so they cracked me open and did a 4-vessel CABG.
Wow.
On me. And one of the things that was nothing was cool about that. But one of the things that was nice was everyone that I talked to there, because they wanted to know how active I was prior to this, and they were all very encouraging of me going back and doing what I was doing before.
Right, and that's kind of surprising to hear, because a lot of times people go to doctors and they're told you don't need to be lifting those heavy weights or whatnot, but they actually encourage you to go back to heavy lifting afterwards.
Well, and also because I was in and out pretty quick.
Right.
I was in and out pretty quickly, and they told me that or they attributed that to all the stuff that I did.
Right. And so you had pretty quick recovery, but I remember one of the issues was they really didn't have a game plan to take you from post heart attack to back to lifting.
Right.
One thing we just talked about was, they had a game plan. If you were sedentary, to kind of get you back into your sedentary life, or even if you were a runner, but there really wasn't an outline or kind of a strategic plan to go from a heart attack back to heavy lifting.
Right. And what I was able to do is I was fortunate to find the right keywords in Google, so that I could to find someplace that did help people that lifted heavy things get back to lifting heavy things after CABG surgery. I found several articles. They all were done by Baylor.
Right.
And they were all basically written by Jenny Adams. I wrote to Jenny Adams, told her about what happened to me, what I was going to do, and she was glad to help. And so even though the rehab, even though she's in Dallas,
right,
she helped me long distance. But there was tons of emails and phone calls and so forth. And using the parameters that she had, which was essentially not to keep my arms close to my body,
right,
so that I don't stress my sternum for the 4 months, for that 4-month recovery period, and then also I had a blood pressure cuff and a heart monitor so that I didn't overstress my heart.
Right.
And so as long as I kept those two things in the right limits, everything was cool. And then you were able to help with, okay, we got these parameters. What can I do?
Right.
And this gym is probably the only place in Memphis that I could have recovered because the safety squat bar.
Right.
Because what the program we developed was to do safety squats, overhead press, glute ham raise.
Right.
This is one of the only gyms I've seen a glute ham raise, and you have 2 safety squat bars.
Right. Yeah. So kind of one of the things that we discussed was we didn't want to put too much pressure on the sternum, whereas a normal squat bar would actually kind of put too much pressure on that.
Right.
Doing bench press would put too much pressure. So we got you underneath the safety squat bar to take the pressure off of that. It still allowed you to squat, and you actually were squatting some relatively heavy weights considering you just came off of heart surgery.
Yeah, well, actually, at the end of the 4 months, if you take into account it's a safety squat bar, not a regular squat bar,
right,
I was squatting as much at 4 months after my surgery as I was before.
Right. Yeah, and then so a year later, you actually did your second powerlifting meet in the same place. And how did you do in that one?
I increased all my totals.
Right.
I increased all my lifts. My deadlift went, my squat went from 400 to 465. My bench went from 225 to 250, and my deadlift went from 435 to 510.
So you basically put over 100 pounds on your total in a year,
And had a heart attack.
and had a heart attack in the process. And that's pretty awesome. And just so that's the kind of story that we wanted to share with everyone, because that's what MBS is about. Richard had something happen, bad circumstances, but came through that actually better than he was before it all happened. So really cool story. Appreciate you telling it, Richard. Stay tuned for more stories from other MBS members. Thank you. All right, man. Okay.